Got audio. View. Wait for a few more of them to pop in. Turn on chat in case that pops up. Admit all. Admit all again. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right, we're gonna move this over just a little bit. Where over is that? I think that'll work. We got markers over there. They all disappear. They all disappear. Let me get a little upset because I'll have to step off camera and go get another. Those were the ones I brought in here. Of course, I did steal them from upstairs. All right, I will be right back. We're gonna steal some more of those. When we get back, we'll start talking about criminal elements. Last time I was talking about them in terms of their importance. This time, what we're going to do, meaning. What the hell do they mean? So we had those elements last time. Bring those back up from out that memory. There should be about 4 of them. And then be ready to talk about what the hell is it. Go, be right back.
uh, maybe after brands and anyway.
Sure. I want to see some tag intent.
Yeah.
All right, so what are they?
Like intent
Yeah.
or concurrence.
Okay. Intent. What do we mean there? Usually I bring in an energy drink, predominantly water. This is code red. Yeah, red alert. All right, we'll start here. Ooh, I saw something funny there. Meanings. Meaning. Meaning is an important one because it's always in your head to some degree, but to some way we need to know what we're talking about whenever we say something. So here we are. That's when I talk about aligning intentions and actions. It's importance. Basically, that you reap what you sow to some degree, and if you have focus, these things align. This thing, the ultimate output there, gets magnified in some degree, way, shape, or form. It's always interesting because people tend to classify things in good and bad kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, current time, it's like, yeah, for here. People tend not to look at the good side over in this discipline, but there's good to it too. But that's a general idea of how the world works, at least from a legal perspective, from an initial standpoint, like introductory. Intent there is probably the hardest thing to really, should be probably, it is the hardest thing there. That's why it's the last thing we usually talk about. Kind of the point of last time is everything has to build. You have to stack everything up, and it's not to the end of the day you really get to anywhere near that. That's really hard. This one's a little bit easier. We can jump over there. We can run with what's in the mind. I don't know. Is it a cloudy or sunny day? That's where my mind's at. It's way out there. I'm head in the clouds. Smart ass. Sorry. I'm gonna work on that. We'll move over here to actions. When we say act, what do we mean? Oh my God. We're gonna have a talk about definitions and words, aren't we? We can do that. Let's do that real quick. We'll have some fun because you guys are gonna see something. I don't know if I had this talking. I know I was talking to somebody about it. I can't remember if I had it in here because this one's kind of it's kind of a little bit of a hot take related to Supreme Court justices. So if it would have come out, it probably would have been about there. I might have mentioned it. Changes in the court being proposed, that kind of stuff, and court packing, that kind of thing. Because that's something real. That's like lawfare or any number of things. It's like, yeah, it's there. You can do that. It's just not the best way to do it. The Supreme Court justices as of late, some questions and political alignments and that kind of stuff. What I said, it's why they have, this is the Warren court, this is the such and such court, that kind of thing. You know, you get some idea for the way that decisions are likely to go. Sometimes they're all over the place. Just for procedures, I've kind of talked a little bit about that because that focus real heavy on the Supreme Court side of it. For you to see, okay, here's a court case that went through. Here's where it affected process. Now we got to fix that stuff because it wasn't running right. The big problem with that one is something like this. Supreme Court Justice asks a question as to whether or not, or how is it worded? What a woman is, I think that's the political thing that's been going on. Was that last year? I think. My mind, it could have been 2 years ago, if I remember. Couldn't answer. Kind of thing. Real flighty answer, not a direct answer. Kind of thing. It's like, well, a wide range of people identify as this. It's like, that's not what I'm asking. That's a different question. You gave that answer because you don't want to answer this, because you don't like how you can answer, I guess, or you're unable, probably not able. Like over here, it's like there's very distinct ways to look at it. And sometimes you have to. You have the what is it? I guess reproductive side of it. That comes up. And here we'll get into it a little bit at certain points in time because you got things like sex crimes. Yeah. There are some things criminal there. But okay. How do you identify a male or female? It's like you got the DNA side of it. It's also you have the structural side of it. It's like hips. Right? Those things are gonna be designed a little bit different. I'm coming up on a skeleton. I'm going to classify that one way or another, depending on size and a wide range of factors. And then there's always that, I don't know, can't tell. And so those are all things. We start classifying things. We do that same stuff with our actions. Actions tend to be what types of things? Ooh. I'll jump over to maybe another topic. I can't remember if I brought it in here. Bill of Rights stuff. So, what level do your rights apply? Yeah, rights, right? Right? Right. Good God, I'm feeling like last time. Am I here? I don't know. Am I? You tell me. Are we? Oh. Okay. Or go all that. Different area. Right. It goes in procedures, not procedures. Evidence, maybe cut the talk last. I don't remember. You need to know what those are, otherwise you don't have any. Yeah. right? I have freedom of speech. And I have the freedom of speech if I know I have the freedom of speech and I'm actually able to say whatever it is I want to say. Yeah, there are consequences for stuff. Everyone's going to point out that stuff. Like, yeah, but can I say it? Right? Because I don't have any proclivity to actually say what it is I'm thinking. And it's like, that's a really bad thing. I'm a jerk. I don't sometimes point stuff like out to people in their face. They don't like that. Really don't like that. And I also take the other side for stuff. Again, nothing people don't like. Always know both sides if there's more than one side. This one is pretty important. This is probably more important from a broader perspective. No, I'm kidding. Almost more like a joke. I'm not going to. I'm talking about this. Yeah, evil. Right? Your rights are yours, not ours. Someone else's. It's yours. Individual level is the word I was looking for. If you're taking methods from here on out, whenever we go into that class, if I bring that up again, it's like talking about people. It's individual level. Right? You deal with people individually, not as a group kind of thing. Arms can cross all kinds of things. You know that already. Actions. What we go after, kind of thing. Your rights are yours. When we were I think we had it here to talk about governmental structures. I think like first class. Did we do that in here? Sound vaguely familiar? I don't know. I'm in here a lot. We didn't. Yeah, democracy is an element. Republic's a bigger one. Constitution's the biggest. Following that thing's the most important. Some will say that those things are regulations for the government. To some degree, they are. Some will say it's them granting you those rights. That's a bad way to look at it, because where it puts you in relation to that organism kind of thing, that organization. That puts you, but it's supposed to be an election type of thing. You're supposed to be the top. You're the one directing it to some degree. You can't be in two places at once kind of thing. Where are you going to really put yourself? That's a big element of right here. Keep that in mind. Your rights are yours. It's just acknowledging the fact that, hey, we see that too. We should function in a similar fashion. Kind of like, well, that's a different class. I won't get into that. Now you see a little bit how that works. Since it applies to you as an individual and as the system starts dealing with people, of course it applies to the damn system. Stacks up, it aggregates. Whether it moves downwards, you know, like as abilities move upwards and downwards. Yeah, no, there's some weird stuff that goes there, but I'm not talking about that. These actions, to some degree, talk about that. How so? If so, you guys aren't talking. Why is everyone so quiet? Is it a hard question? I think we talked a little bit last time about responsibility thing. Sometimes it comes up because that's when you start getting into the culpability kind of stuff. We're going to hold you liable, accuse you, that kind of thing. There's some stuff we need to go through first. You want to make sure that kind of element of responsibilities there. We don't go after this. That's not the thing we're going after. That's a different element kind of thing. I think that's I must have spilled on myself. That'll be procedure evidence. We'll get into that a little bit today. This one. It is also individual level. But here you're kind of talking about this right here. Behavioral. An act. Action. Right? Ooh, here's a fun one for you thing. You like dramas, that kind of thing. Act one, action. Whatever, scene one, whatever the hell. Action. Start moving. right? It's movement, some degree, behavior in some way, shape, or form. I guess we'll do the logic of it a little bit first, kind of point out a couple different directions things can go. Okay, start talking directions. I just said that word, didn't I? That's kind of a method one. You'll see where it overlaps here in a second. Okay. What kinds of behaviors are criminalized?
Stealing,
Stealing, murder, burglary,
assault,
assault,
Kidnapping.
kidnapping,
smuggling,
smuggling. Mm,
Racketeering.
here. Okay. If you were to think about those and directions, what kinds of directions come to your mind? Ooh, let's get real direct. If you're right there in the situation, what's going on? Golly, that's a pun like no other. Not really, that's a little bad words. Let me work on that. Okay. Which one did you say?
Burglary and kidnapping.
Okay, burglary and kidnapping. Okay. Describe that for me. What does it look like? You're actually sitting and watching it.
Somebody like entering
Mhm.
building.
Mhm.
But for kidnapping, I guess it would just be like, I don't know, somebody.
Let's go more descriptive, just the burglary.
Okay.
We're on that one, then we'll kidnapping. Then, okay. Enter the building. Then what?
Maybe taking some stuff.
Taking some stuff. Like what? You're entering a building. What are you going to take?
I mean, if I was a burglar, I'd take like valuable stuff.
What would that be?
Maybe rings.
Rings. Ah, so you're thinking about rings. Do you like rings? Jewelry. Yeah. That's stuff. You got some pretty light, some value right there. What else?
Could just take money.
Yeah, if there's money, I'm definitely grabbing that. What else? You guys never robbed anything before?
There's a TV. You guys have a TV?
No burglaries here at all. Okay. Okay, so here's what happens. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, it's going to be stuff though. It's a little bit to what's on your mind, a little bit what's there at hand, and a little bit of what can I do with this, right? Video game system. Hell yeah. Here's one. This kind of a rural community, so this one kind of fit for this scenario. My friends are on tear one night, and we decided, hey, there's a barn over there. I really don't know what's in it. We're about 100 miles from home. Don't know whose it is. Let's go see what's in it. Is there anything in there I want? Yeah, it's gonna be burglary. Unless there's somebody there, then that's gonna be something else, right? Might not turn to burglary, might still be robbery. Who knows? Right? It's gonna depend on how I feel or how they feel, or that kind of thing. There. Wow, to control a lot of power in that kind of situation. That's a scary. We won't come to that part of it. We'll do the burglary part. I found, I'll say 15 boxes of clay pigeons and a trap chute. That's a hell of a lot of fun on a summer's night, right? Yeah, trap shoots, if like smoking cigarettes, that kind of stuff. Saying bad words like ashtrays, and when you're done, you can smash them against the wall, right? Just on a tear. Horrible. When did the burglary take place? Actually, let's ask that the question. When would that burglary have taken place? It was nighttime. Between the hours of, we'll say, 2 and 4 in the morning. When did it specifically take place?
Whenever you broke the threshold, whenever you entered.
Is it?
What is it within?
When
We
you
start getting very discreet here, is what I'm talking about. the level at which you really have to start getting into it, it's so refined. You really need to know what you're talking about to some degree. And it's like I can play with that a little bit to kind of pull it out. The kind of lawyers do that to some effectiveness. What you're doing there is like, okay, that burglar, if you're really looking at it, if you had a camera on that scene, it's going to be 2:37 a.m. and 35 seconds right there. That's when you hit that final element you needed to get. You cross that threshold. You have that intent. You have this. You've done this. My God, that stuff stacks up. Get your ass over here. That kind of thing. That's what the system does all the time, all over the place, right? Directions. Let's keep thinking about that. Okay, take that same scenario, but instead of a what I say it was barn, instead of a barn, it's ooh, we'll make this one nasty. Inner city trailer park. Your other scenario, kidnapping. What does that look like? Describe. Not me. You guys, give me some scenarios. Okay, you're going in. What? Then what? Okay, we'll start here. We'll get really specific. You're at the door. What are you doing next?
You're kicking it down.
You're gonna kick it down. You're going loud. Okay.
You're going loud, going in fast.
Okay, going in loud and fast. So you've done some reconnaissance. You know where they're at. Right. It's a really dark thought. Yeah, you know where they're at. Okay. Keep going. You want to get a little nauseous while you're doing this kind of thing? Sometimes, yeah. Because you got to kind of put your mind in there a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little.
You probably like snag up whoever's like you can like handle, like someone smaller than you.
Mm-hmm. Whoever's lightest. Yeah. I think that's why that movie, what was it? Silence of the Lambs. You guys ever seen that film? Okay, I got a couple of people actually. I like to make kind of see what movies people see a little bit to get an idea of that. Yeah. That one to me was disturbing because it's like, you know, that what he was taking there is like he was aiming for larger people. It's kind of abnormal. Why is that? He was wearing them. Yes, he was wearing them. It's like, oh, not so good there. See what you did there. Yeah. All kinds of things. There again. Negative. Right? Last time I talked about it in terms of good versus evil, I guess you kind of look at it that in time. Very, very crude way of looking. We do it all the time and stuff. I don't know. In methods, I'll bring up a different topic, probably it's the exact same thing and see how it collapses. And then whenever you actually dig into it, you're like, it's not like that at all. And people aren't paying attention is what it is. This thing. Actions move in both directions, positive and negative. And this one, those are two bad ones. They're definitely two bad ones. Okay, we'll go with this one. Aggravated assault, no weapon. Okay. What's going on there? You guys never assaulted anybody? Are you serious?
Like they beat the shit out of someone?
Yes. Yes. It's like if you haven't had it done, it's like I need some bad parenting. Just little somewhere in here? No. Oh, okay. Well, it's good. I mean, it is good, but you know, we'll work with that creatively then. Okay, I'll draw from some things I know. I have kids. It's like, yeah, beat the shit out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that kind of stuff. What kind of scenarios those things occur? Start there. Where would you see one? Aggravated assault, no weapons. Think of common places where people interact that are kind of negative. What kinds of scenarios are those?
Feel like drunk people.
Drunk people all the time. So bars. Okay, we'll set the bar room. Yeah, bar room crawl. What started it?
Dude got shoved.
Dude got shoved. Okay. You. Why did he get shoved?
Someone bought him a Cosmopolitan.
Oh, it's a good one. Okay. So we're going to jump to you with this next question then. Okay, so he's gotten a girly drink sent to him for some reason. What's that reason?
Someone messing with them.
Okay. Why would someone mess with somebody in a bar? I don't go to bars. Those are dangerous places. I really don't. They really are dangerous places too. It's like around here, it's like they're not bad. Like family members and stuff like that. People getting knifed in bars and stuff like that. So, no, I'm gonna stay away from those things. They're really dangerous. Okay. You guys kind of like this last time, okay? What are the good reasons why someone might be buying somebody a Cosmo? Could be. It's a flirtatious thing. We didn't say what kind of bar it was. We did. It's like, it's a cowboy bar. Still didn't specify, right? It's like, yeah, you can go, there's a bunch of ways you can go there. And it's not just this necessarily, right? Like, cowboy's not that or that. All kinds of weird stuff going on. Okay. It's the first Deadpool movie. I think it's the first Deadpool movie. I think the second one had kind of a nasty movie. First one, I think it was there before he actually had the name Deadpool. He was playing with one of the people there. Go send that big guy like the girliest string you could think of. Why? Say it's from so and so. Why? Stirring out some crap. Bill's this. We saying here, buddy. You want to pick a fight? Pop. Right? There you go. Anyone involved? No, I was just causing some trouble. Right? So there's some positive reasons there. What is that? That's among friends. You can do that. That's why I like dogs. What's a dog fight? You can tell that after a while. What's the difference between them playing? Depends on how rough the dogs are. Right? They kind of learn that out. We have to learn that out ourselves as we move and interact with society. We're not really good at that anymore. If I put my kid in a headlock at Walmart, some places, people freak out. Not around here so much. I kind of like that. I'm serious. Yeah. Doesn't matter if he's 6 or I'm dealing with one 16. You know, it's like here the people just kind of tend to smile. Yeah, I like that. You know, go to some stuffy area and it's like, no, please get cold. Okay, we'll have a conversation. I was just teaching, an arm bar or whatever. You shouldn't have been talking that way. You know what that's like, right? Yeah, I'm fine. See you later. Sometimes it's like that. I don't mean that for me, literally, but sometimes it is like that. Okay. Negative side. Maybe you're causing that fight. Right? Many number of reasons why. What's going to happen in that fight? Someone's going to confront someone else. Okay. Some words will be exchanged. When does the aggravated assault take place? We'll say aggravated battery to get real specific. Usually people say assault and battery, but some people will get into that. That's another sticky one. Okay. When did I actually batter you?
When you try to or successfully strike them.
Yes. When I made contact. Boom. Okay. I'm going to do something a little messed up here. And this is why it's sometimes hard for people to see this and keep it all straight. Because these things flip back and forth all the time, depending on what you're talking about. This one I'm going to play with just the facets of positive and negative. You're dealing with good and bad, crime and not kind of thing. I'm talking about giving and taking. Right? Giving and taking can both be good and bad. Like charity. I feel good when I give. It feels good when they take. Oh, that's positive. That aligns. Good. And charity's running. Doesn't. Ooh. Something ain't running, right? Who's taking what? The spirit left, right? Spirit of those actions. Long gone. Kidnapping, burglary. What are they doing? Yeah, those are taking. Mass feeding. What is that? Okay.
Receiving.
Can be receiving. Yes. Stop putting yourself in that position. There's only 2 positions there. What is it? It's giving. Right? This one is what we're dealing with here. The person in question gave something that's not good. The person in question took something that wasn't theirs. That kind of a thing. Micro level individual behaviors, they're directional in nature. They're going to be kind of negative, but the actions themselves can be an act or an omission. That's what we mean here. So it's not just what we can get you for that you've done, it's what you didn't do, should you have had a responsibility to do so. Right? That is a little bit about that thing right there. Like, good God, if that didn't just make it really complex, right? It's both what is and isn't at the same time. Moving back to Schrodinger's cat. Hate that damn thing. I take that bag and I beat it on the ground a whole bunch. I'm pretty sure the cat's dead, right? That's this field too. Like we got to figure out what's going on. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Ugh. Giving and taking. Behavioral. A little bit aligns with some of the psychological stuff. You get into human conditioning, behaviorism. You're like literally right back at it again. It's going that's going to be shaping behaviors, rewards and punishments. Yeah, kind of rewards and punishments. More like positive and negative rewards and punishments. Am I giving you something you want? Yes, good. Am I taking something away you don't want? That's still a reward, right? You have to think about that on the big scales operating at the same time we're doing specific actions. It does get very big. Also gets very complex. Okay, here's another one, big scale one. You guys need to know this one. Actions. I'm gonna have to erase this next part to deal with it. We're gonna deal with time a little bit. So, a little bit, I'm gonna take some time. It's actually a really good joke that whenever we get to it, you'll see that I led you there, kind of thing. I love time. Time's a really fun thing to play with. Think of, you guys have seen The Simpsons, yes? Okay. I've been hearing people, they talk about it a lot on the internet kind of stuff. I listen to things everywhere. Stuff just kind of pops. One was talking about, it's an episode of The Simpsons where he basically stopped caring about anything and taking care of the future. That's future Homer's problem. I'm on here in the now. It's a man with a drink. I'm not the one with the hangover. That'll be that guy's problem. Eventually he wakes up. Yeah, you're now in the future. It's nice to kind of do that on the other end too. Kind of set yourself up where it's like, hey, whenever I catch up to this thing, it'll be really, really, really good. And also do some things that are really, really, really evil. Think like booby traps, that kind of a thing. Time matters. If you can do time order sequencing at the same time as this, it's really complicated. Imagine all the danger you can cause, how much movement, how much damage you can do. A lot. There's a lot there. I'll give you an example. This one's really funny. Okay. This is inappropriate, I guess. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, when you use the restroom, by that I mean actually use the restroom. You've got human waste products that need to go kind of thing. We don't need to talk about that product. We don't need to talk about that process, but around those processes, there are things that are done. What are those things? You guys have, sometimes you see this on the service side. There's some problems with this. That was a big tip. You guys work service? Any of you ever work service? That kind of stuff? Yeah, you should. You learn something about how to deal with people. And then you won't be a crap one as much. You'll still be one. We all are. But it'll be a little bit less. Here's a good one. I'm going to show you something awful. Okay. When you go to the restroom, what's the first thing you do after you walk in the room? Yeah. You know, kind of, that's going to be a positional kind of thing. Okay. Or just leave it like that. Good. You'll do what you need to do. And then you get ready to walk. You just walk out. Yeah, it's a really important part, right? Right? Wash hands. That's what I was trying to get out of the service industry. How many of you ever use the bathroom? I don't care anything about this. I don't care anything about this. Really, I care about this thing. You got to it. Yay. That's what I wanted to see here. That time ordering thing. It's like this stuff's all bad. I want nothing to do with that out of the world at all. I want to make sure people do this. There's signs there for that. Okay. This is also kind of the law of numbers. If you want to deal with crime on the aggregate, it's like, do people do it? No. Like, oh my God, it's like, don't go to the restroom outside of the classroom before class. Because if you do, you'll know who does. That kind of a thing. It's like, and then you get to see the other side. Some people still do. They'll just put this thing up here. Why? They're criminals. Biological terrorism. I'm making a joke. Guys, I'm making actually a couple of bad jokes. It's like, okay, those who actually do pay attention to that stuff, think about microbiology. It's like transference, that kind of thing. You're gonna cross contamination is the word. Yeah. When you go, if you're thinking about yourself first, you'll wash your hands first because you don't know where your hands have been. Right? Care about everyone else, you'll wash your hands afterwards because hey, that's really gross. Right? Most people don't even think about it, don't care at all. That's also this field. It only becomes a consequence when it faces them directly. And they don't realize when it is until it's too late. And guess what? What's the phrase? Chance favors the prepared mind. Most of them aren't. That's why so many people are victimized. Right? The ones that are, you never hear about them. You don't. They don't want you to know that kind of thing to some degree. Because they don't really know what to do with it. That'd be like talking about that guns thing. I don't know if I talked about it in here. It's another class I think that came up. Basically, here what you get is the inversion of crime with guns. Look at how many times they're used for justifiable shootings or defensive gun use, where I pull up, I stick it in your face, and you run. Estimates are 200,000 to 400,000 times a year. Somebody gets a gun shoved in their face, and the other person runs. It's like, yeah, if you don't go, I'm going to make a canoe of your head. Like, that's not good. You should run now. I'm giving this one chance. That's a bit of mercy right there. That's the scale that it's on. You see like 30,000 deaths, I think, a year from guns, about 10,000 is actually murdered. So 10,000 weighted against 400,000 is a pretty big number. Plus, you have the nut dynamics of it there. People won't give you that argument. It's like talking about welfare. It's like, yeah, it'd be right, to help feed the needy. That'd be cool. Also, taxation is theft. That's true. We still have to do it, though, because otherwise I don't want people dying. How much fraud's there? No one really looks. Why? I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I've done my part. Done enough. Have you? No, you haven't done anything. That's politics. Right? This thing, where you start to make sense of it. We've only gotten actions. Right? The meanings kind of thing. Intent. Let's jump into that for a little bit. Right, get some erasers. It's right there. It is. All right. Yeah, there's a lot to this. Okay. So an act is somewhat behavioral. Intent. Intent is always inferred. Unless you have a confession. Even then you still have to read it and infer. It's like I don't want to get that statement. Good. Saved by the Bell. What is that? I don't know. Looks like crap. Anyhow. Right here. When you start talking about crimes, usually what the things they do is they'll talk about, I think last time I mentioned, if the law's in your favor, you argue the law of the actions, the crime, whatever's taking place, the facts. Those are in your favor, you argue the acts of either of those go on character. Okay. Who can I believe, I guess? Maybe. More like who can I get people to desire to do something in some direction with to some degree. But that's pretty big debate. Means, motive, and opportunity is what they usually talk about. Because that's how you start to set those things up. It's a stacking game. Means. I'm talking to this thing right here. Do you have the capacity for that? What are your capacities as a person? We'll deal with that for a little bit before we get back into intent. We probably won't get to intent this time. In terms of the actions you can take, what limitations are there? Okay. How many of you think you're safe right now? I don't see any hands. Maybe. Okay. Put your hand down. Safety doesn't exist. It doesn't. It only exists because everyone's decided that they're not going to act up right now. Like go into a classroom with a kid with oppositional defiance disorder, ODD, that kind of thing. But yeah, that kid's going to get put down pretty hard. He's going to be asking for it to some degree. how much he's asking for is kind of an issue there, because to some degree that's something he's savvy with. We're gonna say it that way, because it is. Still gotta make sense of it. People don't like to think about the full capacity for the range of things that they could do. That's one of the things that's kind of important here is across different classes, sometimes that's one of the big revelations across the class. But kind of overall, so by the time you get done with that class, it's like I can kind of see things from that guy's perspective over there. You know, the one in the shackles kind of thing. It's good, very useful to be able to do that. That kind of common understanding, see how the system works and how fickle it can be, because it can be. This thing right here is probably more important because that's going to have to do with oversight. If you aren't familiar with the full range of things you are capable of, then you might accidentally do some things you don't mean to do. You're all very dangerous. That kind of a thing. You are. That's really, really good. As long as that directional thing's aligned, kind of stuff. That's actually a really big one. Because when you start getting into these specific actions, it's like at any one point in time, it's like how many of you have the ability to cause damage to something or someone around you, right? How many of you mean to intent a little bit? And you can see where you could accidentally cause some damage. Mr. Magoo style, if you remember that guy, bumbling around, right? Very, very easy, sometimes less so. Those directions and specific behaviors all come in wide ranges. We start to classify it this way, but it's not until they all come together that it really lines up. Next time we'll start to move into intent. We'll see how long that takes, because that one's one where you have more than just positive and negative, right? It's like to what degree your intent aligns with your actions, right? That's ultimately what determines whether or not you get manslaughter, you murdered second, first, right? How much planning did I do? How much did I want to do it? Right? What steps did I take? How much of a concerted effort is it? That kind of stuff. We'll get to that next time, though. I'll catch y'all next time. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. I'll get the quiz stuff out and the class stuff out. That should be last thing I'll talk about. A little slow on that. So I get that before this class. I'm a liar. I ran out of time. I got some reports that were due on Tuesday that were actually due on Friday last week. Oopsie. Yeah. So I'll get those up, but I'm running behind on everything. Sorry. We'll get that going. You take care. Bye. This next class is police. And